Hi everybody, welcome back to this channel. Thank you very much for joining me once again. We are still continuing with revising your pre-trial exam, and today we're going to be looking at the Mpumalanga province, your 2024 pre-trial, on this question, very interesting question on functions. Okay, if you're new to the channel, please make sure that you have subscribed. Just turn on that notification bell so that you can be notified every time when we upload a new session. And guys, you can click on the join button if you want to support the channel. There are 3 ways in which you can support. You'll see it as you click on the join button. Without wasting any time, let's get into it. Sketched below is the graph of the function f of x equals to x squared plus bx plus c, and g of x equals to d exponent x plus q. A, point minus 3 and 0, and B, which is point 1 and 0, are the x-intercept. Okay, let's quickly go and represent that because that will be very useful. We know that A is minus 3 and B, it is what? It is 1. Okay, and C, 0 and 6, the y-intercept of f. So this is 6 there. Okay. The graph of G passes through the origin and the point 1 and 2. Okay, they gave us that information. We are quite very interested in this first question, using the graphs to determine the values of x, where f prime of x times g of x is less than 0. Let me rewrite this. For which values of x is f prime of x times g of x less than 0. Okay, it's the derivative of f multiplied by g of x less than 0. What does this mean? Okay, how can we find these values of x? So when you get such a question, you want to ensure that the product of this will always be less than 0. That is, in other words, will always be negative. And for the product of these two to always be negative, it's when the other one is positive, the other one is negative, or the other one is negative, the other one is what? Is positive. That's the only 2 ways in which we can ensure that the product of these 2 functions are always less than 0. Okay, so that's the idea really. Okay, so now we must go and check where is f prime of x positive, where is it negative. Okay, f prime of x, remember this is the gradient, right? So as we are increasing the slope here, the gradient actually is positive. Even if you draw your tangent line this side, it will always be of a positive gradient, right? So it means, let me use a different color. From this point going upward, right, the slope is positive. In other words, this graph is positive till we reach the turning point. Then you see, if you draw the tangent there, it's of a negative gradient. So now from this side, f is negative. In other words, that is your f prime of x will be negative, the gradient. Okay, so where is g of x positive? Where is it negative? We're gonna also indicate there, right? Let me just use maybe another color, green. G of x, it's the actual function. Where is it negative? Below the x-axis, g is negative here. Can you see? Below the x-axis. When it goes above the x-axis from this point going up, it is now what? It is now positive. Can you see? It is now positive because it's above the x-axis. It's on the y's that are positive. Okay, that is it. Now we can check where f prime of x is negative and where g is what? Is positive. Then we can give them the interval of those x values. All right, so if you check where f we can start where f is positive. Where f is positive and g is negative, it's from this point here. I hope you can see this. Let me use an orange color. From this point you can see that here your f is positive. If I'm going backward, my g is actually what? Negative. Can you see? When I multiply the two functions, they will result in a negative, which is less than 0 when I go this side. So from that point, my f is positive, g is what? Is negative. Can you see? And they're sort of like forming that shape that is like that. Again, it's not only from that point. Someone can argue, but say, what about this point here, right? This point, our problem, we are no longer g is negative. You see, this portion here, g is negative, f is negative, g is negative, so they won't, right? But from here, turning point, if you start at the turning point there, right? If we start there, the turning point, let me use another highlighter. If we start at the turning point here, f is what? Is positive, and g is what? Is negative. Can you see? So it's from that turning point. But do we know the x there? We need to calculate that x there. Can you see? So because you have the 2x intercept, to get the x at the middle there, you can add these two of the x-intercept and divide by 2, right? So you can say, obviously, minus 3 plus 1 will give you minus 2. Divide by 2, you'll get negative 1, right? So that x there is negative 1 at the turning point. So from minus 1, going backward here, what is happening? We can see that actually the other one is positive. Can you see the other one is positive? F is positive, whereas g, it is negative. Can you see? Okay, so our answer, the first answer is when x is less than negative 1. Okay, let's get another portion. Okay, let's look again. So if you check again from this point, let me show you this. From this point going like this, f, it is negative. Can you see? But at the same time, this portion, it's still negative g. But from this point here, if you check from this point here, from 0 going that side, there's something happening, right? Our g, it is positive, while f, you see f here, this f here, from this 0, f is negative, while g, it is actually what? It is actually positive. Can you see? Between 0 and 1 at this interval here, we can see that f is negative, right? The gradient is decreasing, it's negative, whereas our g, it's actually increasing, it's positive. Can you see? So if we go further, it goes even further. If we continue to this point, negative, you know, f remains negative while g continues to be positive. Can you see? When x is greater than 0, we can also see that as we are increasing, x is greater than 0, our f is negative, while g at that point, it is positive. That is, the other is negative, the other one is positive. Okay, so obviously that will give us a negative from 0 going forth. So when x is greater than 0, also we have an answer there. Okay, I hope you find this helpful. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. See you soon. Bye.